Legend ZA attempts one of the boldest structural experiments in Pokemon history by setting the entirety of its campaign within a single location. Where previous Pokemon games prioritized showcasing the regional diversity of the real-world locations it was emulating, Legend ZA constrained Game Freak to focus on density rather than vastness, and I think the game benefited enormously from this concentrated and layered space rather than sprawling emptiness. It can't be understated how utterly bland and monotonous Paldea was to explore, filled with nothing but scattered Pokemon spawns and repetitive terrain. Instead, Lumiose is deliberately packed with competing interests as characters have different opinions on the future their city should pursue. This creates the illusion of a communal life, as the residents of the world have opinions about it. You'd never find an NPC complaining about the affordability of Castelia City, nor anyone complaining about the government policy in Shinto. Instead, Lumiose has civilians who dislike the wild zones, want to commit acts of terrorism, want to have sex with Pokemon, want to be racist, really want to have sex with Pokemon, use brain rot slang, commit suicide at the prospect of working, really want to have sex with Pokemon, and other things that prove Arceus is dead, which mirrors real-world cities, a gathering of humans with a variety of ideas and opinions about what direction they should go. In X and Y, Lumiose was just an extra-large checkpoint on your regional tour for gym badges, but by embedding the entire game within this location, it's able to grow alongside its characters in a way Pokemon has never demonstrated before. This is because Pokemon has never delved into the political ramifications of its world beyond the stellar Team Plasma storyline in Black and White. As far as previous games were concerned, the entire world shared the same positive ideology on the current status quo. And the only dissenters were dangerous criminals and terrorists with goals of global conquest or destruction. In Legend ZA, Mabel openly insults the city's leadership for their improper installation of the wild zones. She's also a commentary on Kalos' legal system as a former terrorist who's been given a high-paying position in the region in the form of a Pokemon Operation Paperclip. But her status is contrasted by Team Nouveau Flare, who the government doesn't care about and leave them to wallow in their despair, which ends up radicalizing them back to their original ideology of Team Flare before Lysander perverted it. And most heartbreakingly, there's an elderly NPC who can't visit her relative anymore because his grave is overrun with ghastlies. It's not the pointless flavor text of previous games about liking shorts. Now it's genuine world building that makes the world feel like it's reacting to systematic change. This is seen through the Wild Zone implementation, which is clearly a hastily put together and half-assed solution to a growing issue, as Quasatiko clearly didn't consult residents before creating holographic ghettos around their property, privatizing public spaces like parks and cemeteries, and making the neighborhoods inaccessible to anyone who's not a Pokemon trainer, which is stunningly realistic decision-making for corporate and government forces, as instead of addressing the core issue of what's attracting all these Pokemon to Lumiose, and thereby preventing the events of the game from ever needing to occur, they pour a fortune into this band-aid solution that makes life harder for the common people, with no consideration for what happens when the wild zones fill up and Pokemon keep flooding into the city. I simply must applaud Game Freak's first step into the political realm has been just as successful as Zelda's first step into open world games. Please consider subscribing, and for more Pokemon Legends ZA essays, here's one about the cruelty of Lysander's fate.